Hey guys, it's Coach Jason. Welcome back. I hope you're all doing well. If this is your first time to the channel and you are a coach or a runner and you want to learn a lot, a lot of good information, training information, and workouts galore and all things running, this is definitely the channel for you. So make sure you hit that subscribe button right now before you move on and hit the notification so that you're notified anytime I put out a new video. Plus, I already have almost 200 videos out already, and they're fully detailed training programs for the half mile all the way up to the marathon, all different levels. I've got workouts galore, cross-country programs, injury prevention, all different types of stuff, hill workouts, everything you can imagine so far is on this channel, and I'm going to continue to add to it. So if that's the type of stuff you want to learn, let this channel be a guide for you to help you in your coaching endeavor or your running endeavor. Let it answer questions. Let it solve problems. Let it give you a different perspective or some more options on training that might benefit you or your athletes. So you might find some valuable information on here. So I definitely encourage you to subscribe and watch the videos. And if you're going to watch them, I encourage you to watch them in their entirety from beginning to end, because I do explain everything, particularly in my fully detailed programs. And they're 12, 16, 20-week programs, fully detailed by the day, by the week, by the month. I explain everything. I explain the progression from one cycle to the next, so you know exactly what's going on, so you know why things are happening and when they're happening and so on. So that way you don't miss any important tidbits, okay? And again, you can pause, you can take notes, you can do all different types of stuff, so it'll give you a much better, more thorough understanding of what's going on. But in terms of that, I want to talk about workouts today, and specifically progressing towards VO2 max type workouts, particularly for the marathon. And I'm going to give you 4 options, okay? And I'm going to show you a progression from 800-meter reps to thousands to 1200s to mile reps. But we're not going to exceed 5 miles in total volume. So it's either going to be up to 10 by 800 or up to 8 by 1000 or up to 7 by 1200, up to 5 times a mile or sometimes 6 for more experienced athletes. But there's going to be specific parameters. They're going to be anywhere between 50 seconds to a minute faster than marathon pace. And you'll see the whiteboard. I'm going to take you over there in a minute. But I'm going to go over sub 4-hour marathon, sub 3:30, sub 3 hours, and sub 2:30. So you know how to progress from one level to the next, whether it be in terms of going from one milestone to the next or increasing the pace of the workouts. And the reason why I'm giving you 4 options is because, particularly if you're a coach, there are some athletes who might not be able to handle mile reps at that much faster pace than marathon pace, okay? They might only be able to handle thousands or 1200s or 800s. So I'm going to show you the progression and give you options so that you can tailor to individualized needs as well as a coach. And that's an important part of being a coach as well. There's no one-size-fits-all workout. Not everybody responds the same way or recovers the same way. So it's important to know and distinguish between certain strengths and weaknesses of your athletes. And this goes for you as well. If you tend to need a little bit more here and a little less there, this gives you options, okay? And I want to give you as many options as possible. So let's go over here. I'll break it down for you, all right? There's the whiteboard. I'm going to take you through it. So, sub 4-hour marathon. Now, I have little milestones here. So 9:08. I like to train for margin of error. I like to give folks, if we're trying to get under sub 4, I try to train for 3:55 if we can. Okay. But here 9:08 per mile. That's 3:59.30. 30 seconds faster than 4 hours. So, and you'll see here sub 3:30, 8 minutes. That's 3:29.30. 6:51 here is 2:59.30. 5:42 is 2:29.30. So with a little bit of margin of error. So, but just for these purposes, these are the things you need to build towards. So, you might be at 4:15, which are different paces. So it'll give you an idea of what you need to build towards. These are the workouts to help you get to sub 4, sub 3:30, sub 3, sub 2:30. So knowing where your current fitness is important. So, and if you don't know how to kind of establish that, watch a couple of videos down below on a 1-mile time trial, which helps establish current fitness, and then another video on how to set training paces based on what everybody runs for a 1-mile time trial. So if you know the other coaches or athletes, I think sharing those 2 videos with them would be a really good idea, because it'll help. And I break it down from an 8-minute mile all the way down to 4-minute mile in 20-second increments, okay? So, and setting training paces for everything. Runs, workouts, everything you can think of, I broke it down. I did the numbers already. So definitely take advantage of that workout. Let it kind of help guide you or use as a template that you could make into your own. Okay, so let's get a sub 4. Let's start there. So I'm giving options again. Some folks might not be able to go towards 10 by 800 in the beginning. Okay, so we start with 6, and then they'll say 3 or 4 weeks later, you build to 8, and then 3 or 4 weeks later, you try 10. So there's a progression in volume each time, and you give yourself a few weeks in between to get there. Okay, so here you're going from 6 to 8 to 10 with a 2-minute recovery, 800-meter reps, and the goal paces are 4 minutes to 4:02. Okay, per rep. Now, this is similar if you ever heard of the Yasso 800s. Yasso 800s is essentially, if you're looking to run 4 hours, you're going to run 800-meter repeats in 4 minutes. If you're looking to run 330, you run 800 meters in 330, and so on. So this is a similar concept, but I have a progression in reps and then a progression in workout too. So you'll see that along the way. The next one, if you're building towards thousands, or some folks can do thousands, you go from 6 to 7 to 8 times 1,000, the same 3 or 4 week break in between workouts. Now you do a 3-minute recovery in between each rep, and the reps are done in 5:02 to 5:04, or you're building towards that. Okay. If 1,200 meters is the sweet spot, you go from 5 to 6 to 7, same gap in between, but now it's a 4-minute recovery, and you're doing those at 6:05 to 6:07 per rep. And lastly, 4 times a mile, then you're building towards 5, and in some cases, you might have some older, more experienced folks who can get up to 6, okay? But there's a 5-minute recovery, and you're doing them in 8:05 to 8:10 per mile. If you do it here, that's about a minute faster than the 9:08, okay? And that's where the differentiation. And these are all the same pace. I just did the paces. I broke it down in terms of what you need to run per rep. So this is 8:05 pace, 8 minutes, 8:05 pace, and so on. So that's sub 4 hours. All right. Let's go to sub 330 now. And again, now you know how to get from 4 to 330, 330 to 3:3 to 2:30. You'll see everything broken down, which is why I always like to give the exact times for workouts. Same thing, building towards 6 to 8 to 10 times 1,000, same gap in between, same 2-minute recovery, okay? 330 to 332 per rep. Again, 330, 330, okay? Progressing towards thousands, 6 to 7 to 8 times 1,000 with a 3-minute recovery at 422 to 424 per rep. If you're 1,200, and again, 1,200s of the goal, going from 5 to 6 to 7 of those with a 4-minute recovery, okay? 5:15 to 5:17 per rep. And then lastly, mile reps from 4 to 5 to 6 in some cases, but 5 is the ultimate sweet goal. Okay, that's the spot. 5-minute recovery, 7:05 to 7:10. And again, look, 50 seconds to 55 seconds faster. Now, as you get faster, the gap between here and here will start to close because it's harder to keep that gap as you get significantly faster, and you'll see that along the way. But the goal is obviously to build towards. And again, the reason why I'm giving so much recovery is because you're essentially running those in 10K, even approaching 5K pace. It's very hard to run 5 times a mile at 5K pace, okay? Which is why it's kind of a progression from 10 to 5. But normally you'd run mile repeats at 5K pace with a 2 to 3 minute recovery. We're going 5 because it's serving a different purpose, okay? So now let's go to sub 3 hours, which is 6:51 per mile, okay? Same 800 meter sequence, 6 to 8 to 10. 2-minute recovery, 3 minutes to 3:02, 3:3, okay? Towards thousands, 6 to 7 to 8 by 1,000, 3-minute recovery, 3:47 to 3:49, okay? Next up, 5 to 6 to 7 times 1,200, 4-minute recovery, 4:35 to 4:37 per rep. And lastly, 4 to 5 to 6 times a mile, 5-minute recovery, 6:05 to 6:10 per mile. So 6:10, now it's about 40 to 45 seconds faster instead of 50 to a minute. Because again, so once you get to that level, sub 3 hours, you're running significantly faster than other distance, 4 hours and 3:30. So, and then moving towards sub 2:30, which is 5:42 per mile. Now you're cooking now, okay? Same 6 to 8, 10 times 800, 2-minute recovery. 2:30 to 2:32. Thousands, 6 to 7 to 8 times 1,000. 3-minute recovery, 3:09 to 3:11 per rep. 1,200s, 5 to 6 to 7 by 1,200 with a 4-minute recovery. 3:50 to 3:52 per rep. And lastly, mile reps, 4 to 5 to 6 in some cases times a mile. 5-minute recovery, 5:05 to 5:10. Now, you're looking at 35 to 40 seconds faster. So that's pretty fast. And again, don't pressure yourself or don't feel pressured or anybody else to try to run 6 of them at that, because at this pace, if you can get to 4 of them, that's good. If you get to 5, that's fantastic. 6 is a monumental task. You might even have to adjust paces, and that's totally fine. Even if you did 6 at 10K pace or the equivalent 10K pace to a sub 2:30 marathon, good workout. I would change the recovery at that point. I would go 2 minutes and 30-second recovery if you're going to do that. But in this case, 5-minute recovery. Okay. Now, you could do it in a lot of ways. Okay, you could just stick with 800 meters and break it down. Let's say you're doing a 12 or a 16 or a 20-minute training cycle for the marathon. You can do this, let's say, week 4, week 8, and week 12 of a 16-week cycle. Okay, and just repeat, and you see the progression. Okay, and the progression is either you're running more at the same pace or you're running the same amount at a faster pace. But my rule of thumb is to not increase the intensity of training paces until a time trial or some kind of race indicates you're ready to do that. Okay. Last thing you want to do, particularly when it comes to a marathon, is training way beyond your current fitness and trying to kind of catch up, or I need to get there. That's the easiest way to risk injury or illness, or even both. Okay. Last thing you want is hanging on for dear life for workouts, because the recovery component is different. Okay, not everybody responds the same way or recovers the same way from a workout at the same pace. There's no one size fits all, okay? And that's an important thing to remember, important concept to remember. Training at the right paces is the best way for everybody to progress appropriately, okay? And what I mean by that is training at your current pace. You do certain things at goal pace, but you ideally building from current to goal. But as you're progressing along the way, if you're training at the right paces, your current's going to get faster along the way anyway, okay? But I generally, for periodization purposes, do things in 4 to 6 week blocks. And, and then you plug in races as you're training for a marathon too, and you can kind of progress along the way. But this is a way to progress in distance, because everything is the same pace from 800 meters all the way down to mile reps. This is how to do more at that pace, And since it's significantly faster than goal marathon pace, this is a good progression on how to do it. And again, you can even do 10 times an 800 as a first workout, 8 times 1,000 as a second workout, 7 times 12 as the third workout, 5 times a mile as the fourth workout. Okay, it's all done at the same pace. You follow the recovery periods, and that's a way to do it too. Or not everybody will be able to do that, okay? Or you just repeat the 800-meter sequences, or the 1,000s, or the 12s, or the miles. Whichever you see fit for yourself or your athletes, those are the right training paces and the appropriate recoveries to accomplish or to help you accomplish it. This is a building block towards these goals. There's other things that go along with it, and I'll actually put my sub 4 hour, my sub 3:30, my sub 3 hour, and sub 2:30 fully detailed marathon plans down in the description, along with those other 2 videos. So you can take a look yourself and see how everything's broken down. And then you'll get a better understanding of how these workouts fit in, okay? But it's up to you. You plug them in as you see fit as a coach or an athlete. But I wanted to share this with you because they can be valuable pieces to help accomplish these goals. And I have utilized these on athletes with a lot of success. And I'm going to continue to use them because they're great pieces and effective training components. So I hope you enjoyed this. Hope you found it helpful. If you did, hit the thumbs up. Leave your comments or questions down below in the comments, obviously. Your feedback. I learn from you folks as much as you learn from me. And again, share this with other coaches and athletes. I want to help as many people in the running community as I possibly can. So I appreciate your support either way. And thanks for watching. Have a great week and a great season. And I will talk to you next time.